Hello students, welcome back to computer science class. So now, number one, I would like to correct myself. I told you last class or maybe the class before that the portion of your terminals includes a chapter called strings. No, I'm so sorry. It includes a chapter called functions and not strings. All right. So after this, we are going to be doing functions. Now continuing with the current, we finished break statement and we finished continuous statement, and today we are going to learn past statement. Now this past statement is used when you don't want to write any command or you don't want to execute anything. So you will say then, ma'am, we can leave it blank. Why do we write pass? So basically what happens is pass is like a null operator, null operation, and nothing happens when it is executed. It is useful for places in your code where you will write in the future something, but right now you have not written anything, so you just write pass for time being. So basically, let's say we have a loop, or let's say we have a function that is not implemented yet, that is not, you have not coded it yet, okay, but you want to code it in the future. So for that, you write pass in the body of that loop or in the body of that statement, and the interpreter will not complain. It will not say there's an error. And so you can use the pass statement to construct a body of a loop or a function that has nothing. Okay, so I'll give you one example of that. Okay, what I'm doing over here is I'm actually making a list. This is something that you have not done still, but you can just understand the concept of pass better with this. Sequence is a list data type in which I have written the words pass in box brackets separated with a comma. You will get no output for this. You will get no output for it because there is no output. There is no print statement in the entire program. Okay, so this was the short pass statement. With this, we have completed this entire chapter. Now, I'll do a little memory, memorization, summarizing the chapter with you all. This chapter is also called as flow of control. Okay, and the if statement is a decision-making statement. Then while and for are the loop statements that we have that allows a section of code to be repeated or executed repeatedly. Then we have a for statement that will iterate over a range of values or a sequence of items for a fixed number of times. The statement within a body of a while loop is executed over and over till the while condition is true, till the while condition becomes false. If the condition of the while loop is initially false, the body of the loop will never be executed at all. The statements within the body of the while loop must ensure that the condition statement of while loop eventually at some point becomes false. Otherwise, it will become an infinite loop and it will lead to a logical error in the program. A loop contained within another loop is called a nested loop. The break statement immediately exits a loop. That means it will skip the rest of the body and execution will continue with the statement which is immediately after the loop. And a continue statement controls the jump to the beginning of the loop. That means the next iteration of the loop will take place. And the pass statement is a null operation. It does nothing. And you all also saw the use of for else and while else. Okay, so with this we have completed this chapter. I had told your last class to do a program in which you will be taking positive numbers from the user till the user enters a negative number, and when the user enters a negative number, you will stop taking input and display the sum of all the numbers that the user has entered. This I'm going to be showing you all in your next class. So what we'll do today is I'm going to show you all some, I will write down some codes and I will ask you all to predict the output or find some errors in those codes. Now that you all know while loop and else loop very well, also I will write a program for you and I will ask you all to convert it into a from a for loop to a while loop, from a while loop to a for loop also. Okay, so all these things you will do, and also please sit with pen and paper because all these will require some working. I don't want you all to use a computer, type out the code and see the output. I want you all to use your common sense and brains. All right, let's start. So the first question for today. You are going to convert the while loop I'm giving you to a for loop. Okay. So the while loop is so now before we convert this into the while loop, first and foremost, I want you all to tell me what will be the output of this program. So run this program in your mind 2 times, 3 times, write down the output for it and let me know. I'm giving you all around 1 minute. I will pause. If you have not found the answer in that minute, I request you all to pause the video because I will start the explanation. Okay. So in this statement, first I will explain to you what I think will work and then we will execute it and check it. So the value of x is 5. So we begin with 5 and then you go inside the while loop and you're checking, is x less than 10? So it is yes. So you will get into the loop. and inside the loop you are printing x plus 10, so you do 5 plus 10, so the output will be 15. Okay, and you're coming, and then x increases to 7 because it's x equals to x plus 2, so this will be added to plus 2, it will become 7. Once it's 7, it will again go to check the loop condition. Loop condition is 7 less than 10, which is yes. 7 is less than 10, so it is a yes, so it will go inside the loop. This time you are going to be printing 7 plus 10, so you will print 17 over here. Again, you will print in the next line because we have not written end equals to. So the next print statement is automatically printed in the next line. After this, the value of x will again change. It will become plus 2, so it will become 9. Again, it's going to go and check, is x less than 10? Yes, it is less than 10, so it will again go to yes. It is less than 10, goes inside the loop. This time we are going to print 9 plus 10. So we are going to be printing 19 on the screen. And after we print 19, it will again change, the value will change to 11. This time it goes and checks, is x less than 10? No. This time the answer is no. And then because there is no other statements over here, the program will stop. So this should be your output. 15, 17, 19, 3 written in 3 different lines. All right, let's see what is the answer. There, 15, 17 and 19. Now we come to the second part of this question. If you all have done this correctly, give a pat on your back because you all have understood Python very well. If you couldn't do these clearly, start practicing on these kind of questions. Go on the internet and find output based questions and try and solve them. These are very, very important. Okay, so now how are we going to convert this into a for loop? And the best way, the best method to verify if your for loop that you have converted into is correct is when you get the same output. So now look at the logic over here that I'm going to be using. I'm just converting all these to comments only because I don't want them to be executed. I want to make it a for loop. So in for loop, I'm saying for I in, and I'm starting my loop control variable, that is I. I want the starting value to be 5 because the value of x is given as 5. So we will say start I from 5. Okay, and then I'm going to say you're going to go up till 10 because we have written x is less than 10. So if it becomes 10, we need to stop. If x equals to 10, it has to not go inside the loop, it has to stop. So we'll write 10. And another thing I'm going to write is I'm going to write 2 over here because we want to increment it by 2. It should be 5 plus 2, then whatever plus 2 plus 2. Okay, so this will be my for loop, and inside it we are only going to print I plus 10. Now when you do these kind of questions, don't do the mistake I have done over here. Please use the same variable. Variable name cannot be changed in these kind of questions because they have given you a loop with a variable and they have said convert it into a for loop. Okay, so I've written for x in 5, 10, 2, print x plus 10, and I'm going to run this. And let's see, is the answer correct? No, it's not coming correct. I'm getting 15, then I'm getting 20, and then I'm getting 12. That means there is something wrong here, and we need to find that. Okay, the error is here. I have not written the word range. So what happened is, because I did not write the word range, understand what happened here. Important to understand these mistakes so that you all do not repeat it in the future. Okay. So when I said for x in and I gave a bracket with this, it took the value of x as 5 the first time the loop ran. Second time it took the value as 10 and third time it took the value as 2. So what happened is 5 plus 10, 15, 10 plus 10, 20 and 2 plus 10, 12. These were the outputs we got. So the only difference is I have to write the word range over here and then run it. I got the answer 15, 17, 19. This is exactly the answer we got in the while loop, and that means this answer is correct. So this is a kind of question that can come in your examination, and these comes in the theoretical examinations, not your practical examinations. That means you have to be very thorough on your logic and you have to be confident. Okay, so this is a very good practice. Now, another question. Another question again. First, we will do the output. Okay, so my thing is for k in range, I no not 5, 10 comma 20 5. Come on, do this. I'm waiting for a minute for you all. Okay. So when you get these examination, you get these in the examination, you don't have to find the output, okay? Finding the output is a practice that I'm giving you all so that your logics are clear, you'll understand, and you get a separate question in your examination in which you have to write the output of the given code. You get questions in the examination where codes are given and you have to become the Python interpreter and find the errors, and you get questions in the examination in which you have to convert for loop to while loop to for loop. So, and of course, you get questions in the examination where you have to write the program. You have to write an entire program. So they will say, write a program to accept only odd number, to accept to print odd numbers from 10 to 20. So you have to write this program, and you have to write it in your notebooks. You don't have to write on your Python ideally and take a screenshot and send it to me. No, you have to write it in your notebooks. So now start writing in your notebooks, start this practice, because in this you will have to make sure your indentation is correct, your writing is neat and clear, the semicolon after the for, over the end, all these things have to be visible and clear. Only then I can give you marks. Okay, so now start working on the output of this question. This is the last question for today, and then I'm going to give you one challenge. All right. So let's do the output of this statement. So the output of this statement is we have a variable called k, which will start with the value 10. Okay, so my output will come here. So the value of k will be 10. And then it will go inside the loop and it will print the number 10. It will come outside the loop and it will increase by 5. So it will become 15. It will go inside the loop. It will show 15. It will come out. It will become 20. Now, when it becomes 20, will 20 be printed or not? It won't be printed. So the output will only be 10 and 15. All right, let's see if I am correct or wrong. I could be wrong. Let's see. Ten and 15. When it becomes 20, it breaks into from the for loop. All right. Now we need to convert this into a while loop. How do we convert this into a while loop? Number one, we need a variable and it needs to be initiated. It needs to give some value to it. So we give the value 10 because we want to start from 10. Then we write the while loop and we have to have a condition. And the while loop is going to run only till this condition is true. So you will say while k is less than 20, I want you to run this condition. Inside what we want to do, we just want to print the value of k. Now, after we print the value of k, we have to increment the value of k by 5. Okay, and then this is the end. This is your, let's run this and check if I'm correct. Yes. 10 and then 15, same output as the while loop, and there we go, we are done, finished. So I want you all to sit and start your practices, start converting a while loop to a for loop to a while loop. You have to be able to do this comfortably. Okay, your homework is, I want you all to do, your challenge is, I want you all to do two difference between in your notebooks. One is the difference between for loop and while loop, and the other is the difference between break statement and continue statement. Okay, so finish doing this and send me the pictures of your notebook once you finish doing this. I want to see it, I want to see it, I want to receive it. WhatsApp it to me so I can keep track of the work you are doing. With this, I end today's class. Stay home, stay safe, take care, keep learning, start studying, keep coding. Thank you.